right, I'm the flatratemaster, and well, what do we got going on? Carl, I would not recommend buying the ratcheting wrenches if that's what you're asking about. Buy gear wrench, buy the Milwaukees. The snap-ons are bulkier, and they break just as often as anything else, so they're kind of overpriced for what they are. Don't buy the Matcos because they're just, made at the Cabo plant. So as you can tell, I'm looking for ideas for videos. Last month was not really good for views, so figured I would check with my community and see what kind of issues and stuff that the community wants me to talk about. So, so that's what the stream's going to be about to some extent. As you can see, flex head mountain wrench, Felipe. If he's talking about the new snap-on update, their version of the mountain wrenches, yeah, not for that price. That's just ridiculous. You can buy 4 or 5 sets of the mountain stuff and still have warranty as long as you buy it through somebody that you can warranty it through. They don't make any sense. But Snap-on being Snap-on, they charge up the wazoo. But yeah, I don't know if anybody in the chat has seen Snap-on came out with their own versions of the mountain wrenches, or they're all made by Cabo. Matco has a version, everybody has a version. And Snap-on came out with their own branded of it, and it's made by them, and they're like $700. So, it's your money. So, how's everybody doing tonight? What else we got going on? But Felipe, yeah, I would just stick with the mountain or whatever brand you can easily get warranted. I wound up, because of the situation at the tool trucks at the old shop, I wound up buying the Matco one simply because I knew I could get them warranted. I had a mountain wrenches, and none of the distributor that I bought it off of stopped coming by, so I could not get it warranted easily. So oddly enough, I broke a 14 millimeter and haven't broken one since. I got the Matcos and have not warranted the Matcos once. Football tonight, that's fun. Is it football or football? Soccer. Go Lions. But I move my head a little bit. You can see I've got a Twitch stream running in the background. I want my Twitch drops. Rainbow Six Siege has their tournament going on, so I got that going in the background, so I get my Twitch drop. So I've got the Milwaukee Rich, geez. Talk about adequate space for toolboxes and workbenches. One time I didn't have a bench with a vise. One shop had no room, had to hoist up a car and use rolling trans bench under the car to have space. Jeez. Crimus Christ, have you ever heard of the company Shop Fix? It's an automotive shop owner coaching program. Is this a scam or do you know anything about it? Aaron Stokes is the owner of Shop Fix. Yes, I'm very familiar with Shop Fix. The shop I worked for was Shop Fix. My ex-boss is a coach for Shop Fix. A lot of the stuff I've talked about in my videos is what they do. I mean, they preach waiters. The thing is it's about capturing the car more than having actual waiters. They want the car in-house so they can hold on to it until they can fix it, guaranteeing they will get the money for the repair. Like you bring it, they'll tell a customer, yeah, bring it in. We'll check out your brakes. When they get it actually fixed is, up to whenever they get it fixed, but they want the car in-house. And they do other things. Like they talk a lot about raising prices and raising margins. And one of the things that has happened at the old shop that I saw before I was let go was increasing lack of returning customers. And that seems to be a theme with that kind of business program is you keep raising rates until you price yourself out of the market to some extent. And then you have to keep raising your marketing budget to get new people in. I heard recently when it come to assigning cars to the shops, they've got upper shop, lower shop, upper shop new, lower shop new. So they have categories for new customers. What's that tell you? Also, now this is 100% unconfirmed and has nothing to do with why I got fired. But they also tell any of their shops that if they have a influencer, they need to fire them. Now that was not the reason I was fired, but that is something they have. And truth be told, I was probably the reason that happened. That rule came about is because my ex-boss shared my content in the group and the group chats and all that. So, Honda Doc, what's going on? I will tell a story about a different shop in that same program that I interviewed with. I was out to lunch with one of the owners, and they're a group that has expanded very rapidly, and the general manager was talking about how he'd fired 3 service writers for underperforming that week. So what's that tell you about their business model? And the shop they wanted me to go work at, I'd met every tech that worked there. And I knew after meeting every tech that worked there, because they didn't have an extra bay. They had one flat bay. And so somebody was getting replaced, but I thought, they had they have multiple shops, so they would just move a tech to another store, and I'd go to that store if I decided to take the job. And the general manager told me that he was getting out. One of the techs at that shop was getting out of the business. And I talked to every tech there. Now, take that for what it is. Maybe that was the truth. I don't know. But when he's telling me about firing 3 people that week, because that makes a lot of sense at 3 different stores. Yeah. There's a very much reputation of Shop Fix of they pay well. The thing is they do pay well. But it's a very, very focused production, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. They're going to work you like a dog until you break or they decide you aren't making them enough money. Not really. Crimus, no. I mean, I can tell you especially after talking to that second shop, I would not go work for a shop fix shop. Period. They're going to push everything to the limit on everything, and more than likely, that kind of business model only lasts so long before you alienate the vast majority of your customer base, and then you're kind of screwed. Now, in a transient city like Atlanta, less of an issue because you always have people cycling, moving into the city, moving out of the city. But there was a lot of, you know, at the old shop, it was often I was assigning 60% at least new customers every day. Now, there was also inequalities in the distribution system that I've talked about on how cars were distributed to the lower shop versus the upper shop. But Nick L, what's up? Michael McGrath, that's a good subject. It's just hard because there's so many different scan tools. There's so many different prices on scan tools. And a lot of times it's hard to find some of that information on what it costs. Like Snap-on puts it on their site. Other companies put it on their site, but other companies you have to, for the most part, either log into your tool and go try to get it or whatever. And it's getting hard to just look online to get the exact number. And then I put out a video and 6 months later, everybody changes their prices. So that's a little difficult to do. Philly D, what's up? David Martinez, what think tool do you have? Because I've found coverage on the launch tools really good. I mean, every aftermarket scan tool is going to have limits, period. The biggest thing with launch is they put things in slightly weird places, so you may need to look under a different category of that kind of thing. But that is something that I've found that they like to hide stuff. It's not the most intuitive scan tool, and that was always one of my issues when I got into launch. But I've been burned so much by Autel that, and I've been happy with them. I mean, there are still limits. I mean, you're gonna hit, if you do any advanced diagnostics, you're gonna hit the limits of what tools will do all the time. I mean, I can tell you, I've hit the limit of factory scan tools, that they won't do certain things of certain cars. Rich, what's the difference between shop fix and something like ASOG? They tend to be ASOG, from what I've heard. I'm not affiliated with any of them, but they tend to take a more well-rounded approach to, management teaching, as far as, you need to get better margins. You need to have, price yourself appropriately for your market. Shop fix, is a much more aggressive management program. And, that's take with that from you will. Brisket Profit, how do you know a shop fix shop? No, you have to ask, and they may or may not tell you, but yeah, you have to ask. Crimus, I appreciate very much. Thank you. Yeah, that's something you're. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, to find out what management program they're in, you're just gonna have to ask. Uh, Wrangler, you're my favorite marginalized black woman in modern mechanics. Yeah, I am whiter than white. I'm German and Polish. Like both my mother and father's side of my family came over around World War One. That's how white I am. That there ain't no nothing about that in me. But definitely appreciate it, Crimus. You know, since since things have been, you know, since the firing, I'm a lot happier. Not pissed about anything. I mean, that's one of the issues is like I've got famous for my rants. Excuse me. I got famous for my rants, and I really can't come up with a subject to rant about. So it's just burping like crazy over here. So I can't really come up with a good rant video in a while because I don't have anything to rant about. You know, I like what I do. You know, I go to work and everything's cool. Everything's chill. So there's nothing that's really pissing me off to enough to make a video about. So I think the last one I kind of did was talking about, you know, the getting all the TikTok type videos where it's all about selling you a product. You know, yeah, you want this great new product, link in the description. There's no information about anything other than that there's a link in the description. But you know, Charles, what's going on? Yeah, so if you know, like the scan tool stuff, the problem with that is it's irrelevant so quickly, and like I'll get views on videos that were done when I started my channel, and I'm glad when I did some of the stuff I did back then, I didn't do pricing. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do pricing in videos is, oh yeah, now it's this much. And then you get the 15 million comments that, oh, it's gone up to this, or you can buy here for, you know, cheaper or whatever. I'm working as, you know, the thing with the issue with, I'm not talking about where anything like that. There will be no content from the shop. There was a lot of issues that I don't want to carry with to where I'm working now. Yes, I'm back working, but there'll be no information on that. It won't be on my LinkedIn. It won't be on my Facebook. You know, very limited knowledge on where I work, and I want to keep it that way because I don't need, you know, people calling the shop. I don't need people showing up. I don't need some of the shop owners that have become like mortal enemies to me, at least according to their comments on YouTube. I don't need them screwing with me. And that's why it's all private now. And especially after finding out that management group, you know, not that I would work for a you know, shop fix shop anymore, but that they tell everybody if you've got an influencer working for you, fire them immediately. You know, so no. So yeah. Okay, outdoors man. I'd love to see a video how to be successful as an automotive technician in 2023 when labor rate per job on flat rate is shrinking and sometimes matching warranty pay. eventually you can't be faster. Yeah, I mean it's getting pretty bad as far as some of the warranty times. Rich Thumb, would a lease of a scan tool ever be a normal thing? Not just the software, but also hardware. Since they're like phones and obsolete quickly, a lot of businesses, not technicians, do that. Basically, they lease their equipment, and at the end of the lease, they buy it out for some nominal fee, and basically they've written it off already. So they basically, buy it on a lease. But I doubt for technicians it would become relevant simply because there's no intrinsic value in an outdated scan tool. So I don't think that's ever going to be a real thing, in my opinion, because there's no value in it. Eric, extreme scanner comparison video. Dunk it in oil, cover it in lunch crumbs, spray brake clean on it. I can tell you, don't spray brake clean on a screen. My Veris Edge still has spots on it. Yeah, and that was 100% my fault. I was doing a quick check for a vacuum leak and using brake clean, looking for a vacuum leak, and sprayed my screen. Not directly, but the overspray hit it, and I have speckles on my screen. That'd be funny, but that'd be a rather expensive video to make. I ain't Mr. Beast. I ain't got millions of dollars to waste on a video. I mean, I can tell you the launch scan tool with the handle on it bounces. I wouldn't do that again in a video because my luck isn't like when I drop a phone, there's one pebble and it lands on its screen and cracks the screen. Haven't done that in a while. My last phone, the digitizer was starting to go out, and it was old. So, Crimus, I've done videos like that. Search my channel on looking for a job. I'll give you the synopsis of it. Drive by there when they're closed a couple times before you take the job there. Look at their parking lot. Does the parking lot move, or is there a lot of dead cars there? If there's a lot of dead cars there, they're not moving cars in and out. Watch the workflow in the shop while you're there interviewing. If you can, swing by there, during the day and watch what cars are in the bays, how fast they're moving in and out. You want to ask about equipment. You want to ask about, what software they use, how tickets are distributed. You want to look at, how tickets are handled as far as, that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing for a flat rate technician is you need to have plenty of cars that need to be fixed in the shop. So that's one of the biggest things is you need to spend some time looking at the shop without the technicians, without doing the interview check. You want to do it when they're not watching you. So drive by there, look at what's in the bays, look at, are guys standing around? If you drive by the shop at 2:00 and every bay's empty, or you see a bunch of guys just hanging out, sitting in the bay, they're not busy. So that's one of the big things is you got to make sure the shop stays busy. If you're hourly, less important. Hourly with commission, more important. But that's the big thing for me is you got to make sure that shop has enough business to support you as a technician. John Chevy dude, what's going on? Yeah, red flags. Yeah, I mean, always look for like talk to their technicians. You know, talk to them how long they've been there, how long their service writers have been there. If everybody's been there for, 2 weeks, huge red flag. Unless they're a brand new store or something like that. You know, if there's massive turnover, it's a huge red flag. Well, Philippe, starting his new job on Monday. Good luck with that. Hopefully it goes well. That's the thing is it's hard for a lot of people when it comes to interviewing for a job. You think you're interviewing for a job. No, you're interviewing them to see if you want to go work for them. And that's the mindset that you really need to look at it. Is this a place that I should go work at? Not like I need this job. No, it's hard. When you need a job, you need a job. But when you're looking at getting hired on at a shop, you need to interview them as much as they interview you, because you might get there, start talking to them, and realize the one service writer is going to get on your last nerve, and you're going to have to deal with them day in, day out, or something like that. Rich, I did that video. A video beside scanner. What shop tools do you supply for convenience? Drain pans, arbor press, torch, wire weld. I literally did that video at the old shop. It was a cluster when I left. 20 MCR video, how to mentor a new tech. That's a good video. I will do that. But Rich, I don't know exactly what the title was, but I did that video. But like the upper shop, I own 2 smoke machines. The upper shop had 0. The oil extractor was mine. The bearing splitter was mine. Wow, let's see what else. I left my Snap-on charger there, because it wouldn't do what I needed to do anymore because it broke. And it was well out of warranty. I wouldn't give any Snap-on any more money for that. And I had another one. A bunch of stuff that I took when I left that they don't have, they had to buy. I mean, the lower shop had a smoke machine, but they didn't have one after I left. The upper shop didn't anyway. They didn't have an oil extractor, bearing splitter that was used by both shops. I took all my tools off the alignment rack because everybody used my tools to do an alignment at that shop. There were my Mac wrenches and my old chrome Snap-on sockets and 3/8, and then my Matco spare ratchet. So yeah, I had to take a lot of tools out of there. Rich Thom, I knew a guy who brought his own transjack. LOL. Thing about it for me was, I was in a unique position. I owned a smoke machine before I started working there, and I brought it because I carried it around because I'm lazy and I'm a big believer in efficiency. So any steps I take that is wasted space, wasted steps, bugs me. When I can walk, in my bay, I have the tool I need to get. I already own it. So, and then OTC sent me a second smoke machine, and so I had 2. And the old Snap-on became the shop use smoke machine, and I had a personal smoke machine that nobody else used, but I still own the Snap-on. Nobody in the upper shop had a scan tool that could do the resets for the 18 and up Chrysler products. No one. It was my scan tools that had an account. Uh, Crimus video idea: how to escape dealership life. Yeah, I mean, I could do a video on that. That'd be good. Um, Video shop safety. Yeah, I mean, I that got suggested last week, and I'll probably put together something. I mean, I did a kind of joke video. It was I kind of redid it into a short. It was a y'all don't that video took me hour and a half to film. It took me like 5-6 hours to edit, and it was only like a little over a minute long or something like that. And it was a parody of that 70s show, Doofus and Diligent. I thought it was good. It did crap on the channel, but I thought it was funny. But yeah, I'll do a shop safety video. You know, I don't have, I think all I have here is safety glasses and maybe some gloves. But yeah, I'll do that one. Learning 66, I used to have my own set of torches because the shop didn't have it. I'm in the Northeast. Oh, God. You're in the Northeast and a shop didn't have a torch? The upper and the lower shop both had torches. I can't imagine having a shop without a torch. And I'm in Georgia. Mr. Beastly 4 LS or Coyote. Well, considering I own an LS. I mean, I literally do own an LS. I don't own a Ford product anymore. The Focus is gone. So the only Ford product we've had in many years is no longer here. Adam Nash, just off the top of your head, how much would it cost to put a toolbox together with tools solely using Harbor Freight versus tool truck prices? Depends on a lot of factors. Humble Mechanic put together a basic toolkit for an apprentice at his old dealership, and that budget was $1,500. Add in about $1,000 for, you know, a Milwaukee Impact, little more power tools. And you could easily get started for $2,000, $2,500, something like that, and have most of what you need. Manuel Riviera video on how to move up as a technician. Good idea. Thank you. Adam Nash. I live in the Rust Belt of upstate New York. Any suggestions of what undercoating I should use? I'm trying to keep my 2018 Kia Forte alive. I will have to defer to Eric O on that, and that would be fluid film. I believe that's what he primarily uses, and I have used fluid film for only a couple years because of Eric O. Love that stuff. It comes in handy for a lot of things, especially lubing things. But yeah, I would spray it with Ford Probe. No, Philippe. Ooh. But yeah, I live in Georgia. Rust isn't really a thing except when Yankees move to Georgia. But yeah, I would do fluid film. D. Harley, 7 years retired after 45, 36 as an owner. I'm getting obsolete on new cars fast. Still get calls on older car from other shops and former customers. Yeah, no, it doesn't take long. I mean, technology moves fast. I mean, so many different communication networks and so much technology in these cars nowadays with ADAS and, more safety and modules. And I haven't tuned a carburetor in many moons, so I doubt I'd do that well at that anymore. I used to be able to. Used to. Owen Gessinger, advice for 2005 Audi S4 Avant 4.2 owner. Sell it. That's a pretty cool car, but I mean it's going to be expensive. Change the oil every 5,000 miles. Use the recommended oil that Audi recommends. Their spec. Don't cheap out on the oil. Don't go to anything but that does not meet the Audi specification, the current specification. Fix coolant leaks as soon as they happen. If you start seeing coolant leaks start to drop, you need to get in there. Use Audi parts only. Do not go aftermarket on that car. That would be the big thing. Suspension's going to need to be repaired or fixed fairly often on that design. It's an S4, so, bushings are going to tear. God, I hope you don't have to do the steering rack on that. Oof. Adam Nash, have you ever had any issues using Rock Auto or even used Rock Auto at all? I've never personally bought from Rock Auto. One of the distribution hubs for Rock Auto is in Atlanta, and it comes out of Parts Authority, which is a distribution wholesale company, and they ship for Rock Auto. So generally they were, it's the same stuff. It's getting shipped out of the same warehouse. So, but I've never actually used them personally, but like I did a friend a favor and rebuilt their air conditioning system a long time ago. Not for money, just helping them out. And it all came from Rock Auto, all Ford OEM. And it came from them, even though it was Rock Auto, but it got shipped out of their distribution center. Kevin Avery, most techs don't know what a carb is. No, they definitely don't know what kind of magic that is. I mean, let's be honest. A carburetor is a calibrated fuel leak. But it was, it worked for a long time. Not very well, but it worked. Justin Isom, let's talk Chevy lifters, Vlome, and camshafts. 5.3 and 6.2. What do you want to talk about? The 21s and 22s had massive parts failures. That was a manufacturing defect. They've got issues with the valve springs in that generation. A lot of the issues with Vlome and camshafts come from lack of maintenance. Once the Vlome starts getting clogged and you get partial flow through there, it screws up the lifters. That would be the main reason why they fail, is simply because of lack of maintenance. I mean, most things fail because of lack of maintenance. But that's one of the main culprits. And if you want to make sure you have a comeback on one of those things, put the old Vlome back in. It might make it 10,000 miles. No, I didn't do it, but a tech I know did 2 of them. Let's just say that. Both came back about 10,000 miles with camshaft failures. Oh, Rich, yeah. I mean, it's You may be obsolete. You know, he says to D Harley, you may be obsolete, but you would be surprised how fast you can learn it. Service manager for 3 years, took about 6 months to get back. Yeah, I mean it's all the same electrical. It's just look up service information and you can learn it. Miss Carol, hello, tuning in after working with a Dana 60 front carrier assembly. Gotta love gear oil. God no. That's one of my least favorite smells in the world. Old, big, medium duty truck gear oil. It just stinks and just soaks into your skin. Miss Carol also says, I drive a carbureted 460 LOL. Drove it 708 miles Monday. MPG equals yes. You made it a mile per gallon. 460 carbureted, just about. Phil H, what happened to the Scope Basics video? They were hard to produce. They took a lot of setup, and they weren't getting a lot of views. I mean, it really came down to too much effort, not enough, people watching. Thing is, it's like if I was getting good views on those videos, I'd have kept doing it. But it was like, you could watch it in my analytics. It'd be like scope video, and then it'd go back up to a regular Friday video or whatever. But it was like there was always a dip in my views. So that's kind of why it kind of went away, because it took a couple 3 hours to produce that, along with making regular content, and it people didn't watch. I enjoyed doing them. It was fun to do, but it was just a lot of effort for not a lot of people watching it. Justin, why do they push the AFM trash? Mileage and emissions. Why they push everything? Mileage and emissions. You lower emissions and better fuel mileage. Philippe, I did some of those at the Chevy dealership. Not surprised. It's not a bad job. It's really not a bad job to do. Heads come off pretty easy. Time and set comes out. Pull the radiator condenser. Pull the camshaft out. Put the new camshaft in. New lifters in the buckets, and we're done. Kevin Avery, it's straight up a lifter issue on the Chevys. The newer ones, it's a design defect, a failing loam. What just happened? I don't know what happened, but my computer froze up. Okay, I think we're back. Do you know if AFM delete is 50 state legal? It's not legal in any 50 states. It's not a legal. You're defeating an emissions device. Got 0 drop frames. I don't think I can change. I don't know what the hell is going on here. All right. I don't know what's going on with the stream status. Internet's fine. I'm not dropping frames. Yeah, no drop frames. So I don't know why I'm getting not receiving enough information. Okay, good. I'm coming across fine. It's still giving me a warning of poor connection. So I don't know what's going on. I was talking with OBS, who do the capture software I use, and they assured me AV1 encoding was fixed, which I don't know if you remember, after I got my internet fixed, my stream just died at some point. And that was because of AV1 encoding. So I don't know what the heck's going on right now, but uh-oh. Let's see. Huh. Yep. No. Process. Oh, lovely. Anyway, something's going on. Yeah, no, Kevin, that's what I was talking about earlier. Is the newer ones are a lifter problem? It's a manufacturing problem.